username and the first and last name. The first and last name and that field there, that's what tells the system when you go through the directory and you're looking for somebody that, what's their first and last name? I want to search for them. Type in the first few letters of the person's first or last name. And of course, there is the change password. If for some reason they forget their password, you can use this interface to change your password. Also, as the administrator of the system, you can log into the phone system through any phone, get into the administrative mailbox, and change someone's password. So even if you're remote and you don't have internet access, you can dial into the phone system, get into the voicemail, go into the administrator mailbox, and log into that particular user and reset their password for them. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility. I kind of like the visual side of things, but sometimes you just don't have access to it, so you can always dial in through the phone. All right? And the other thing that we have in here, I'll show you real quick, is the ability to set up our Find Me, Follow Me. So Find Me, Follow Me, like a lot of things in our phone system, can be set up a couple different ways. One is it can be done through the administrative tool. The other thing is it can be done through the app. That's how I mentioned before. You don't necessarily need the app, but it can be used to set it up. But we can set up a very complex set of rules here where I can put a specific caller ID in there. So maybe I need, maybe my boss, maybe a wife or a husband, maybe kids. I want to make sure those calls come to me, where maybe I'm in Do Not Disturb or not available, but I want to make sure those calls come through. Or very simple, I just want every call, so any caller ID, and I want any time of day, so I can say always, any time handle. And then what I'll do is I'll put a destination in here. So I'm going to say dial 2901 and dial my cell phone. Where everyone writes down my cell phone number. Right? I give it the same priority, doesn't matter as long as it's the same. And I can now set this up so that it'll ring my desk phone and ring my cell phone at the same time. I could just as easily have said, you know what, ring my desk phone first, give it a higher priority. So call my desk phone for 15 seconds, now call my cell phone. Depending on how you want to do it, either Find Me, Follow Me, or simultaneous ring. So very flexible. And you can see you can build a bunch of different rules there and make it very complex. Or I like to keep it very simple and just set it up to be this setting where we just call both. Now once I do that, and I save it, and I save all of this, now every time someone calls me, to ring my desk phone, ring my cell phone. Okay? If I wanted to shut it off, maybe I don't want to get the call during the day, I could schedule it, of course, or I can come into this application and I could set it to Do Not Disturb or Desk. By setting it to Desk, it doesn't go after the schedules. Or I can go on the phone, press a button on the phone, it might follow me and say turn it off, or I can use an app to turn it off, right? But for the most part, I like just leaving it on, and when a call comes in, I can look at the call and see who it is. You'll see the caller ID of that person calling you, and you can decide whether you want to take the call. So again, we're trying to make it very easy and flexible so that you can get your calls when they come in and be able to take that call down and call them back.
The other key thing too about this, and I apologize, I just can't even know, is when he sees on the cell phone and he doesn't answer it, it's pulling it back to the IPedge voicemail, not leaving it on a cell phone voicemail, because it's finding and following me on the client.
Right. It's a good point. So the system, when you receive a call on your cell phone, you accept the call. That way, we make sure that the voicemail is always in one spot. It's not being left sometimes on your cell phone, sometimes being left on your desk phone, because sometimes your cell phone may be out of range. It may go right to voicemail. So by doing that, we're able to always say, okay, whenever someone calls you at your desk, you always know that your voicemail message will end up in your voicemail box on your phone system and be delivered to you as a unified message.